We're live. Fitness Business University podcast. This is Tom Langton. I'm here with Vince Gabriele. What's up, Vince?
Yo.
Yeah, like it's weird. Do you think about what you're going to say before you say it?
No.
All right. That's just weird. That's just a weird intro, but we're going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. Vince, you had a pretty good weekend about 2 weeks ago. You had a chance to speak somewhere. Talk about where you spoke.
I spoke in Providence, Rhode Island, at the Perform Better Summit.
It's kind of, as Ron Burgundy would say, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal.
It was funny because I was happy to speak anywhere.
Yeah.
And I originally was supposed to speak in Orlando, and Perform Better's headquarters is I think it's in Cranston, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So their big one is in Providence, and that's the one I would always go to. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll get that one some other time. But then something happened. There was a shift in the schedule, and I got shifted to Providence.
Yeah.
So I got lucky because we had a good crowd, real good crowd. For a Sunday, I spoke on Sunday. The way the Perform Better works is all the heavy hitters speak on Friday and Saturday, and the new guys speak on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because it's usually a smaller crowd.
And everybody's usually hungover.
Hungover. But I was happy as hell. I would have spoken on Monday. They had that.
It's funny for me. It's funny for me. I feel like I've been along for the ride for 10 years. But I can remember we did an ACL seminar at Summit High School. I don't know if you remember this. And I think there was 3 people there that we went in with. Do you remember that? It was so we looking back. It's funny as you said, you'll speak anywhere. And it's I can remember doing seminars, nutrition seminars, ACL seminars for literally 2 people. We would set up all these chairs in the gym. And 3 parents would walk in, and they didn't even know what they were sitting down for.
And I remember we did one at that rec center. It was right at the church.
Yeah,
we did the church. There was literally 2 ladies in there.
Yeah, I did one at a snack bar during a football practice. We had a relationship with a local PAL director, and he's like, yeah, talk to the parents during practice. So I got there, and they put me in a snack shack. And it was literally 3 parents talking, and we were surrounded by Twizzlers and Doritos. And I did a nutrition talk for their kids. But it's just funny because I think people you look and you say we would literally talk in front of anybody in the beginning. But I can remember that at Summit High School we were in the library and there was 4 people at the ACL seminar. We had set up all these chairs, we had the PowerPoint, and we were all nervous. And it was there's 4 people. So all right, so here's the thing, Perform Better is all about training, right? And so you talked about training. What was your topic?
My topic was the most important hour in fitness,
which is the training hour.
Which is
no, I'm sorry.
Actually, it could be, but it wasn't in this case. Was the consultation. So, if you think about it, most of my work is towards gym owners, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of trainers there, but it kind of applies to both because you can be a trainer and learn the skill of how to run a great consultation. So it kind of hit home. It was kind of a good topic because it kind of hit home to both trainers and business owners.
I mean, it may be an obvious question, but why is that the most important hour? Why do you call it that?
So I think it's the most important hour because that's where one, you can actually make the money, right, to have your business grow. But 2, that's the opportunity to transform a life. We talked about in the last podcast about live events and being belly to belly with people. Our business is we get people on the phone and then we sit with them in person. There's all this hand-to-hand combat. Combat's not the right word, but there's this belly to belly communication that happens that a lot of people are all with technology, they're shying away from. All of a sudden, they're opting in for this, and they're paying online for that, and then they're coming in, and they're doing a group orientation, and then there are things like that. And I think there's some merit to some of that stuff, but, that's not where we've had our success.
Yeah.
We've had our success on one client at a time, maximizing that hour with that client. So I think it's the most important for you because you can solidify a relationship and ultimately it leads to most likely a longer term relationship and obviously more money. But 2, it's the start for that client. It's the start for, hey, this is the place that's going to help me change my life. This is the place that's going to help me transform. And this hour went so great. It's the start. Dr. Rob Gilbert has a great quote that he always talks about. It's the start that stops most people. If that session isn't great, that client could walk out of there never step in the gym again.
Yeah.
Like you lost the opportunity to save someone's life. So it's really important for you, and it's really important for them. That's why I called it the most important.
And we do use technology. We use,
Oh yeah.
But the idea is that everything drives. I mean, that's the conversation that we have from a marketing standpoint. From everything is like the whole goal is to get that person in the door for this consultation.
Yes.
That's the goal. So every email we send, every time we have a conversation on the phone or on Facebook, just get them in the door. Because we know we're not selling. It's not a bait and switch.
No.
Once we get them in, we'll show them what we can do for them, and that's the goal. So all of our marketing, all of that technology is important, but the goal of that should be to get them face to face with you. Then
Again, that's our goal. That's
Yes.
the goal of a lot of the guys in our mastermind that are starting transformational type businesses like this. It's not for everybody, right? Because it's harder. Right?
What's harder?
It's harder to sit down with someone.
It's easier to sell over the internet or
or you can just make your prices really low and have a ton of people in sessions and be like, all right, get started, and that works for some people.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do in the industry, I'm trying to to change a lot of lives and change a lot of people, and it's hard to do that when you're just hurting in the masses.
I'll be honest with you. For me, the selling part, and I mean, you can attest to this. I'm not a big fan of the selling, right? But because I think a lot of guys and girls that are in this industry are similar, kind of afraid to sell. They don't want to come off as a sleazy salesman. And like we talked about in the last episode, the old movie references. There's the old Alec Baldwin, Glenn Ross, where it's like always be selling,
Always be closing.
Always be closing. And it's so just whatever you have to do to get the sale. I think that's what a lot of people do, and they think of a sales consultation as a kind of a sleazy thing. So how is yours not? I mean, you're a sleazy guy, but the consultation is not sleazy.
Yeah.
So talk about what you actually do within the consultation and not make it sleazy.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the first thing is it's a longer term process. So let's say you have an event where they come in for a meeting and the goal of the meeting was to sell them on a membership.
Yeah.
And the way we've structured it is that's not the case. And that takes pressure off of everybody.
So I'm confused now. The goal is not, and I think you confuse a lot of people, that's what I'm saying. The goal is not to sell a membership. The goal is not to sell a membership. I don't know, now we're confused. So what is the goal of the hour?
So the goal of the hour.
So marketing gets them in the door. Right. They come in for that hour consultation. And then, so what are we selling them?
It's funny, whenever you drink nitro, you become an asshole.
That's
and you're always drinking nitro, so it's like, oh yeah, so I guess it's all
I'm trying to help the listener understand.
So thank you for correcting me.
No problem. I'm not correcting you.
So
I'm trying to clarify. Because I think a lot of people were thinking that it was confusing.
So a lot of times people will have the meeting, some kind of a meeting, and they will try and sell something that's very, very large and long term. So they might try to sell someone on a year membership for personal training, a year membership even for a gym.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing in 1 hour to do. It's possible. It's certainly possible.
And we've done it. It happens every once in a while. People come in, I love it. I like the way
and it's rare. It's rare. But the way you can take the pressure off everybody in the room is to sell like a short-term membership. And that's basically a test drive. And Tom Plummer has done a brilliant job of bringing this, to the fitness industry, where the whole goal, you said the whole goal of the marketing is to get people in the room for a consultation.
Yes.
The whole goal of the consultation is to get people to buy the trial.
Okay.
And the trial is usually a lower cost item, very, very high in value. Low cost, high value.
Give me an example.
So $99 for 30 days of personal training.
And what would the normal cost be?
Normal cost of that could be $500.
So we're giving them our highest priced option for $99.
Yes, and it's basically to give them a taste of what we do and to show them, because the whole sales process is not just the meeting. The whole sales process is that first 30 days. And that's where you can take a trainer that doesn't understand sales, that might not be good at sales. And now it's not the ABCs of selling. It's not all about the close. It's not all about the close. The close happens over 30 days.
Okay.
So that's kind of the difference. So going back to the ABC, so the kind of initial thought was Glenn Ross talks about always be closing. The most important part about sales is the close. And Dan Pink introduced a new concept to that. And the reason why he introduced a new concept to that was because of the information age.
Who's Dan Pink?
Dan Pink is an author that wrote a book called To Sell is Human. Brilliant book. Anyone in sales, anyone that owns a business should read To Sell is Human. Brilliant good. And that guy is like, he's got some really good TED Talks too. Dan Pink is a very, very smart man. But he talks about the new ABCs of selling. And he created this during when he realized that, okay, information is now everywhere. If you were to go to buy a car, you can pretty much go in and see how much that dealership paid for the car. There's so much information out there that now the seller and the buyer are on even playing fields, versus what it used to be is the seller knew everything, the buyer knew nothing. So now they just would take advantage, and that's where the whole sleazy salesman that took advantage of people.
Make you feel stupid,
right?
For not
because they have no idea, because they're up here in knowledge, we're down here in knowledge. But now it's like kind of balanced.
So how do you do that from a fitness standpoint? How do you do that? How do you make? I understand what you're saying. So talk to me about the ABCs that we use now to sell that trial membership.
Yeah, and these are kind of like, the ABCs are baked in our whole process.
Okay.
The main ones we use are the A and the C. The B is kind of a little bit different.
What is the acronym that?
So the ABCs are, it's attunement, buoyancy, and clarity.
Those are big words.
Yeah, those are big words.
Attunement. Talk to me about it.
So I have to tell you a story first about attunement.
Okay.
So when I was a young dumb trainer, I would sit down with moms, and mostly moms, and they would tell me about how they can't stop drinking wine, about how they can't stop eating chocolate, about how they just can't get to the gym because they're just so busy and they're running their kids here and I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Like, this lady doesn't do anything, all that. And now all of a sudden, she's like, she can't work out, she can't do this. And I had that attitude before. And I was seeing it through my eyes. I was seeing it through my own lens. And it's a huge, huge sales mistake to see things through your own. So the attunement is being able to see things through your client's eyes. So I was able to see things through other people's eyes when my wife had 3 kids. And all of a sudden, I was like, I'm looking around and I'm like, man, like, this is freaking crazy. Like, no wonder why, like, my wife's an alcoholic. No, I'm just kidding. No wonder why she drinks.
She doesn't listen to this.
Yeah. So no wonder why she drinks a lot and eats like because this is like a madhouse, like a madhouse. But I now see when I sit down with a client. I don't anymore, but when I did, I sit down like I get it. Like, I get what you're going through. Okay, so let's just. I now could talk to them on a level playing field versus me being this 26-year-old punk ass that thought he knew everything and thought that person was just lazy.
Now, could you have done that when you were 26? So if someone's listening,
yeah.
Here's the truth. There are a lot of 26-year-old punk asses listening to this right now.
Yeah,
who are doing those concepts.
And that's the whole point of why I'm talking about it.
So how do you then become?
Obviously, the easiest way to learn it is to live it, right? So that's how I learned it. Is I lived it. But if you understand attunement, you can understand and you can sit in front of somebody. It's like, okay, I'm not looking at this through my eyes. I want to look at this through their eyes. I want to put myself, and that's it. It's the same thing with marketing, right? It's the same thing with marketing. What's the most important thing about marketing is knowing who your customer is and knowing what keeps them up at night. Now, it is, yes. So if my market is a 39-year-old male, and yeah, I'm 39 now. So if my market is a 39-year-old male, I know that male inside and out.
You're almost our target market.
But that
next year, you will be our target market.
I'm going to become a client at the
That's
gym.
awesome.
But I can still, if I study and learn and talk to people, I can still learn what a 45-year-old female fears, the struggles that she's going through. I'll never be able to feel it like she feels it, but I can know it. And I can utilize that into improving my marketing message, improving my ability to sell.
Empathy is a good word, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, so the A is attunement. It's getting, I get you. Okay, the B. What's the B?
The B is buoyancy.
All right, that sounds like it floats.
Hold on.
Buoyancy is something that floats. That's the first thing.
I'm drinking my power juice right now, Tom.
It's good.
Yeah, fired up. No caffeine.
Obnoxiously closes the lid and slams it down, just so everybody in the room knows you're that guy.
Yep, just you and Sharpie.
Close the lid, that's
Just
right.
you and Sharpie.
Slam it on the table. The microphone's there, so I apologize to the listeners.
So buoyancy is you being really, really great today, by the way. Yeah, and your voice is like getting better and better. It's like it's weird. Isn't it Sharpie?
It's called the Damer. I told Sharpie, I said, I'm not sitting this one out. You play for the pain, let's go.
So buoyancy is the ability to stay afloat amongst an ocean of rejection. So I think one of the biggest things that people are not good at sales is because they're afraid of people saying no. They're afraid to actually ask for the sale. They're afraid to actually ask for a high price. One of the reasons why, Tom, that people price their services too low is from fear.
Fear that someone's going to say you're not worth it.
Or fear that, hey, if I price this so high, no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to say no, and then I'm not going to be able to make any money. So I'm going to price my services really low, so it's really easy for people to say yes.
Gotcha.
Versus pricing your services high, getting good at sales, getting good at understanding people, getting good at overcoming objections, and now all of a sudden you can charge higher prices. But buoyancy is this, the ability to float amongst an ocean of rejection. You have to treat every no as a win. Every no is like celebrate the no, because every no has a silver lining, a wrapping that is a lesson. It's a lesson. It's a learning lesson. So not that long ago, went through a period of times where our close percentage from the trial to the membership went down.
Yep.
A lot. And we're looking at this and we're like, all right, what the heck is going on? And I was at the point where I was training the salespeople, so they were younger and they hadn't done as many consultations.
I'm sorry, I'm going to pick off, but talk about the close percentage. So just real quickly, I know we talked about it in a podcast earlier, but so you bring people in, they sign up for the member. So what is that percentage?
Yeah,
what are the numbers? What are you looking at?
So we usually look for a 60% close from someone that buys a trial. So let's say we have 10 people that buy a trial in a given month. We're not satisfied if we close less than 6.
6 out of 10. So 60% of the people that do that.
To an annual membership there's a lot that goes into it, but 6 out of 10 to an annual membership at a certain value.
Gotcha.
So let's say we close, let's say our goal, the average value is $300, and we close 6 memberships at $150 a month, that's a problem.
Gotcha.
That's a problem. So even though we hit 6, so it's not just the number 6 that matters.
So the close ratio doesn't have to do with the consultation. The close ratio happens.
Usually it's pretty simple and easy to sell a trial, low-cost trial from a consultation.
Gotcha.
It's pretty simple.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure that was clear because I didn't want to confuse and think like.
I'm trying to figure out where I was.
You were talking about when our sales.
Yeah. So and we're like, okay, something's wrong, something's off, and so then we started to meet every week. And this turned into, okay, well, here's what's happening here. Or this is what happened with this person. Well, this person told me this. All right, well, this is what you need to do. And all of a sudden turned into this. Now we still do it every week. Even though our close percentage is back up to exactly where we want it to be, we still have the meetings.
Yeah.
Because the meetings are all learning. It's all like, so, but this is, we could have been like, close percentage is down. But we kind of like rolled up our sleeves and like, we're going to fix this.
And it's really not that different than a training meeting. When you're talking about, okay, Bill was in, and Bill, like if I'm in a training meeting, we're talking about he had a lower back pain. So what did we do to help to avoid that? And now instead you're talking about, well, Bill didn't sign the contract. Well, what happened? What was his experience like? And so I think people think like a sales meeting, like I don't even know how to do that. It's not dissimilar to probably what you're already doing.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's actually a good comparison.
Thanks, Vince. So anything else on buoyancy? So
I think that it's like it goes back to you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from failure, and you can't get down and can't let your confidence get shot when you get a bunch of no's. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's built into your business. Like I just told you that 6 out of 60%, that's a D minus.
Yeah.
Like we're happy as hell with the D minus.
That's like the old Ted Williams, right?
Exactly.
Like he hits 400, he's the greatest hitter of all time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so that's buoyancy. So A, attunement, B, buoyancy, C.
So C is clarity. And the slide I used when I was at Perform Better was a cover of Men's Health magazine. And on the cover of the Men's Health magazine, it said 792 ways to get in shape.
Yeah.
That is what our members are dealing with.
100%.
That is like what they're trying to weed through this muck of information of what email am I getting here? What magazine can I pull off the shelf here? What is my girlfriend telling me here? What is my cousin saying, oh, I got to start to try this diet? There is just this muck and murk of information that are going into the minds of our clients. Clarity is about weeding through all that crap and being like, all right, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
This is what you need to focus on. Don't worry about all that stuff. Don't worry about all that stuff. This is what we're going to do. You're going to come to the gym, and you're going to come twice a week. And you're going to start eliminating carbohydrates for breakfast and just eating proteins. You're going to drink X amount of water a day, and you're going to make sure you get 8 hours of sleep a night. And that's all I want you to do. That's clarity, right? That's having a plan that's clear and simple. And as I tell them to just throw everything else away, this is the only thing you need to focus on. So that is the ability to give someone clarity. And it's very easy for people to buy when it becomes very simple. So one of the ways we do it, we have the health roadmap. And actually this is something that we unpack in the mentorship that's coming up in October. But the health roadmap is basically that one sheet of paper that we outline everything they need to do to succeed.
Yeah.
And it's a game changer. So that is like the perfect thing. So them leaving a consultation with one sheet of paper of everything they need to do for their health, that is clarity.
This is difficult. I think this one is difficult for people in our industry because you want to show how smart they are, right? They kind of, and I think it goes back to what we talked about, putting yourself on the pedestal above the client.
Right.
I have so much knowledge that I want to share with you the first day. I want to talk to you about everything you need to do. So talk about, is that something that you see as common?
So Mike
overwhelming our clients?
Speaking of perform better, Mike Boyle did an unbelievable job he did the keynote of the thing below. And his thing, he always says, I don't know if he even said it at the keynote, but he always says, just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
The KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. Is that we are notorious. And I will tell you this, keeping it simple and making things easy, not only for you as a business owner, or not only for you as your trainers, but for your clients, keeping things simple and easy is one of the most important things to try and work towards. Because you're right, we gather a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We read a lot of crap. And I'm willing to bet you that of all the training knowledge that we have, we use probably 5% of it. Of all the things that we've learned over the years going to training seminars and stuff, and as great as all that stuff was, what do we do? Goblet squats.
Yeah.
Lunges. Chin ups.
Yeah. I think with nutrition, it's a big, especially because we do a lot of nutrition in the consult.
Yeah.
And I know in the past, I've studied nutrition with everybody in the world, and the more we've dummied down our nutrition coaching, the better results we've gotten, without a doubt. And we're working with a lot more people than we used to. We used to do very specific one-on-one and just overload them with information, and it was just too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think John Berardi has just
he's
just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
As a business that's just has mastered this. You want to like see simple, like go look at precision nutrition stuff like that. Is like even their like their blog posts and emails, like how easy it is to read and the graphics of everything. It's brilliantly done.
So that's clarity, making it, and the clarity is more for the customer as opposed to you.
Yeah, but it could yes it could be for your team too, though, because that's yes and no. So Pink's big thing that he says is we're all in sales.
What does that mean?
So a teacher is a teacher in sales.
I guess they're selling the information
They're selling the students to buy the information that they're presenting.
Yeah.
Right? A police officer, right, is in sales. Like he's trying to sell him on cooperating and not getting out of the car and hauling off and hitting.
Yeah.
It's just, that was a bad example. But everyone, the point of the whole book is we're all in sales. All we're trying to do is influence people. That's all we're trying to do, and the ABCs is the way to do it.
Awesome. So, and are you going to go over this at the mentorship?
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, I just unpacked it pretty good here, but I'll go over it again.
But they get to see. When is the mentorship?
October 20th and 21st. Really excited.
If someone wanted to sign up and get more information, how's that?
Yeah, we're going to be putting the link is in the show notes. They can just click there. There's a landing page that's got tons of information. All the presentations that we're going to be having are in there. Where to stay, what airport to fly into, everything is in the landing page that they could ever imagine.
All right. If they want any more information, or if they want to talk to you personally, can they do that?
If they want to talk to me personally, they can come to the mentorship.
All right, so click the link.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I do have a link on vincegabriele.com for a free call, so they can opt into it.
So if someone wanted to know if this is the right fit for
Yeah.
them, get on the phone.
Happy to do it.
Get on the phone with you.
Happy to do it, Tom.
Awesome. I think that's good. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, how long is that?
25.
Wow, it's so perfect. The 20-minute window is the money shot.
And you just took it a little bit longer. So
Okay, we're going to
All right, thanks, Vince. Have a great day, guys.